Hello, I am Brandywine Hanselbottom, and this is Coronacation Weekly.
Perfectionist. What just happened back there? You broke the brake drum? Percussionist, did you broke the brake drum? And wait, no, when I told you I wanted you to equal, I meant I wanted you to play the triangle, not doing whatever you're doing in the corner of the room right now. Like, save that for the toilet, man. Jeez.
Later tonight, we have a special report on how to look your best during Zoom meetings in this socially distanced time we live in. But first, an apology. In our last broadcast, we featured notable musical epidemiologist Pa Hansen in an important report concerning instrument safety and best use practices when utilizing your instrument at home. Unfortunately, it has come to light that Pa Hansen, well, simply put, is a fraud. Apparently, he was nothing more than a quack that Sal picked up off the street and pawned off as a medical expert. Our internal affairs, human resources, and personnel departments are all looking into this error in conjunction with our party planning committee and Triscuit consumption team. We regret this error and are moving swiftly to ensure that something like this never happens again. Now, to today's headlines. Now, for tonight's headlines. First, digital meetings are back. As many of our viewers know, Zoom meetings were canceled because of safety concerns. After much deliberation and research into more secure platforms, our reporters are telling us that schools are now resuming digital meetings, and this new platform is called Zoom. Anyways, your teacher will be in touch regarding a very important and critical digital meeting later this week, so stay tuned. Also, varsity letter applications. Sources are telling us that varsity letter applications are available and posted, and that you need to complete those as soon as possible. Anybody sophomore and up has the potential to earn a varsity letter. Thirdly, band awards. A very special band awards ceremony is coming, and there's going to be more information on that later. But right now, the most pressing matter on everybody's mind across the globe is election season, voting. So there's a simple online form that allows you to vote for such lauded titles as Best Woodwind Performer, Most Inspirational, Most Likely to Raise a Family of 5 Musicians, and the like. So check the classrooms, check the email, always check Coronacation Weekly, and make sure you complete that as soon as possible. And as referenced, do keep your ears open, your eyes peeled, and your tongue wetted for a very important end of the year awards event. An anonymous tip has come in actually informing us at Coronacation Weekly that in addition to featuring awards winners and senior highlights, there's even going to be a photo reel from the band's very successful and lauded trip to Disneyland. Sal, can we get them a tease of some of those pictures to come? Boy, that looks swell. Now, on to our semi-part-time and reliably irregular Q&A segment. For our Q&A segment, we wanted to take a moment to delve into some of our viewers' questions, the things plaguing their mind, what's weighing on them, what are they concerned about, and what have they yet to find peace in. So our first questioner, Lenny Gryffindor, writes, if you could make any small animal as large as a cow, which animal would you choose and why? Well, that's easy, Lenny. For me, I would take a Kowakian monkey lizard and I'd blow that perfectly normal household pet up in size to cow size. In fact, I wouldn't even stop there. I mean, if we're going big, let's go for broke. We're talking skyscraper huge. And heck, if it's that big, you could milk that bad boy. And where do you think Luke's infamous blue milk came from in the first place? Our next question comes in from Edgar Flibbergibbet. Edwin writes, it's JoJo Siwa typed videos. That's not a question. In fact, I don't even, what is JoJo Siwa? Let's take a look at this here. What can we find that? Oh, what is that? It's like someone ate a Lisa Frank catalog and vomited on that poor child. Ugh. Do not press play on that, Sal. Don't even do it. Yikes. Dwayne Johnson asks, what is your favorite thing to make with Mara's fur that she sheds? Well, that's easy. Soup. Now that recipe's a family tradition on level with sock pie. Next up, we have Callie McDonald's, and Kyle asks, how do I take care of my fish's sixth toe? Fish is unnecessary, but we'll roll with it. So here's what you do. Back in the day, medical professionals used to consider things like leeching and amputation both common practice and safe. So I would encourage you with your fish to employ both of those techniques simultaneously, the leeching and the amputation. No fish wants 6 toes. Everybody wants a normal 5. So try that, get back to us, and let us know how it goes. The next question comes in from Jim Henson, and he writes, also this. Well, this is not really a question, but let's see where this link goes. Mr. Anderson, that's Neo to you, writes, what is when you do sometimes and currently but while the yes, but also no? Well, Neo, just remember that the judicious shake reduces the salt. Significant understanding is omnipresent, much like candy. And of course, chair number 11 doesn't count. Arlene Roberts asks, what is Mara's morning routine? She looks gorgeous every time I see her. She sure does. Mara really steps up her game, both in the office and I know in her personal life. So in order to shed some light on what she does, both in the morning and throughout the day, to keep that beautiful glow and that peak physical form, we sent one of our photojournalists along to document what typically happens in a typical day for Mara. Typically. And finally, our last question comes from viewer Yvette McMulan. And Evan asks, what was your worst fashion mistake? Well, I have pretty much always looked like this. I've always been an absolute beacon of what is chic, a beacon of fashion. Through the decades, I've been a calm, unflappable, unwavering example of what is most fashion sound and grounded. Where do people turn to know how to look their best? Well, to me, of course. And frankly, this has been true pretty much since birth. From the ground up, my youth onward, I've always been somebody worthy of magazine covers, film star wages. I might not acquire those things or receive those things, but as they say, life isn't always fair. Now, on that note and perfect segue, it's time for our special report. We know that everyone is spending a lot of time on Zoom and other video conferencing platforms, and everyone wants to look their best when seeing their friends. You might not wear pants to a digital meeting, but that doesn't mean you can't look your best from the shoulders up. So with that in mind, with you in mind, we've put together this special report on just how to bring your absolute A game when in those situations. We consulted digital correspondent Mara Hansen, who is truly a master of teleconferencing and the like, and put together this informative video essay. So what we're going to do here now is show you the steps I go through every day before every broadcast, because like me, you want to look your best when you're meeting with your friends, your teachers, whatever the case might be. So let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to pull out is this tube of white cream. This in general is used just to kind of bring down some of the highlights. So you're going to get some of that kind of loosely on the cheeks. You know, back in the day, it was actually desired to have paler skin because it meant that you didn't have to work and you had people to do that for you. Now, of course, for good reasons, we frown on that. So here I have a pink tube that we're going to use primarily on the forehead and bring down some natural color into those upper ridge lines up here. Sorry, this is a new one, so I need to open it. Never hurts to ask for help. You apply this way up on the forehead there. It's okay if you get it in the hair. You can actually use it as kind of a hair gelling product as well. It'll kind of keep, you know, a nice shape. So I have here a poof poof brush. I'm going to use that to dab some of this pink strawberry tube. And this is really just a scent, if nothing else. You can kind of use it to powder some different things. But more than anything, it's really just adds a nice fragrance to everything you've done. Again, once you're done with it, just drop it in the sink. Don't need it. So we get the poof poof, and we're going to kind of dabble that up along the forehead. Nice circular motions. You know, if you get on the eyelid, that's okay. As long as your eyes are closed, the nose is good too. It really helps to utilize this on both sides of the face. Yeah, and there, and so you can kind of get the facial hair if you have any. This brings a really nice color out. Maybe you've always wanted to have lighter beard, then this is perfect for that. It's exactly what this is for. So you can see we're making really good progress. This has really helped diffuse the lighting, right? So before you had those really gaudy, bright glares. Now, this next item is one of my personal favorites. So here I have a tube of red. Now, sometimes you put on your lips. For today, we're gonna put on our cheeks. Kind of get that red clown effect. So just nice concentrated dot on the cheek. Yeah, or Indian war paint. Let's go on the other side there. A nice circle, just kind of like you're getting ready for the circus, right? I'm gonna pop out of the car and scare some children. Now,
nothing about this appearance is scary. And then you kind of rub that in, pat it down like a baby's bottom, and you kind of smooth those out, okay? And then again, when you're done, drop it in the sink, move on. Okay, so this is a purple tube, and in this purple tube, another different colored dab daughter. Okay, this is gonna be for the eyes. So it's really important that you close your eyes once you've found them, and then you apply thoroughly to both eyes. Again, always good to locate the eye before applying. Completely fine if you unintentionally smother your eyebrow or skewer your pupil. Both are fine approaches. Now look at that color. Just look at that color. Some people could say that it's a little subtle, but that's what we go for here at Coronacation Weekly, is subtlety. So here you have a watercolor palette. That's all this is. Any watercolors will do, okay? And so I particularly like this nice blue teal. And so I'm gonna apply this kind of along, again, the eyelash, and you just kind of poke vigorously, and you can see you get some nice color coming out with that. It really brings out the aqua in your eyes. In my case, it just turns kind of, and we'll go to the other eye now, it just kind of turns a dull gray, and actually makes it worse by contrast, but that's okay. So you just kind of plop that around. There's really no rhyme or reason to it, because people aren't really gonna look closely at what you look like. They're more just gonna be stunned by the statement. So here I have a tube of black, super skinny marker. This is one of my favorite tools. So we're gonna use this for that ever desirable cat's eye appearance, just tapering. Just tapering. I really like a long taper all the way to the ear. All the way to the ear. Right. It's perfect. And so you just taper all the way back to the ear. The longest, sleepiest cat's eye you can possibly have. Lovely. And done. And now we're coming to the finishing touches. The lips. Everything hinges on the lips. Now, I have so many choices. I like to actually double dip, if you will. I'm going to apply this red rose color onto my lower lip. And we'll just do that nice and thick. Perfect. See, you can kind of see that. And again, it's also can work as beard coloring as well. And then one color is not enough for me, please. So I'm gonna apply the orange to the upper lip. And if you think about it, it really goes well at sunset, sunrise. It's almost as though your lips disappear into the horizon. And if you get it on your teeth, that's okay too. It looks orange and tastes orange. So that is all you need to look your absolute best for Zoom, family reunions, funerals. With that, I hope you've enjoyed this and found this beneficial. Now, back to you, Brandywine Handlebottom.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of tonight's broadcast. On behalf of everybody here at Coronacation Weekly, we want to thank you for welcoming us yet again into your homes. Remember, I'm B Money, this ain't funny, and as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.